Hello. Hey, hi everyone. I think I finally managed to go live on this. All right. So today we are going to talk about how Lunacal helps you get more bookings. In the process, I'll walk you through how to set up your Lunacal scheduling page and also discuss a few nuances that are there within the product. So we might not cover every aspect of it, but I'll try to cover most of the major aspects. Right. Um, to begin with, I'll probably just start to share my screen and we'll start by looking at the scheduling page itself that Lunacal offers, right? Let me share my screen. All right. So I think my screen is shared. Right. So this is how a typical Lunacal scheduling page looks like, right? You have your calendar on the left and you have a lot of these widgets on the right, which are all customizable, right? The core idea is that when people are coming to your scheduling page, right, these are your highly engaged audience who are looking to now book time with you. At this point of time, if you can put in content that makes them more aware of what you do, uh, and also gives them some trust so that they can better relate with you while booking the call. So this is essentially an excellent opportunity to build trust among your audience, right? Think of it as a mini landing page that you're taking, that you're getting people on while they want to book your calendar. So here, for example, I have written about who I am, my journey, a few more Lunacal FAQs, few testimonials here. I embedded a couple of webinars that I did recently. I embedded one of my LinkedIn posts. So all these things are, I even have these social icons at the bottom. So these are the things that you can sort of uh, create on your Lunacal scheduling page, right? Now let's go to the backend to see how it actually works. This is how the main screen, the moment you sign up on Lunacal, this is where you land up on. It would have created some content automatically using the inputs that you've provided, but you would have full liberty to customize it the way you want, right? We'll start with the first widget. This is from here, you can sort of get widgets, right? So there is a text widget. Um, when I click on it, a new widget comes up. I can write about me, anything, add details here. Click on plus, add another tab, right? So I can customize it the way I want. So you have a text widget, you have a testimonial widget there, where I have these testimonials here. You have a gallery widget. So within the gallery widget, you can upload multiple images, and those images can also redirect people to some other link if you want, right? So if let's say I'm a content creator, I'm selling three other things, then I can have buy now, learn more, these kind of CTAs within images that can take people to different places, right? The next widget is the video widget. Now, this, for example, is a video widget. So the moment I click on video, I can click on this drop down and embed a video from multiple sources, right? And all the things that you embed here, they sort of get played within Lunacal itself. Okay. Uh, the next thing that you can do is you can add audio. So when you click on audio, a new widget gets added. And if you have any content on Spotify, if you're doing podcasts, so all those things can also be embedded here. Right? The next widget is form widget. Now, this is something that you can use if you want to embed forms within your scheduling page. So for example, I used to have a affiliate form here where affiliates would come. Uh, if they want to book a meeting with me, they can book it, and then they can also fill up the form and provide their details here. And you can either embed type form, Google form. We're also coming up with more options here. But even the forms that are embedded here, they sort of get filled within Lunacal itself. So users won't really have to navigate away from this page. Everything would happen within the page itself, right? The other widgets are social feed and map widget. Within social feed, you can essentially embed a lot of different things. So if I click on Facebook, I can embed a Facebook post, a Facebook page, a Facebook video, right? If I click on TikTok, it can either be a TikTok video or my TikTok profile page. I have, for example, embedded a particular link here. So I can provide the link and then it sort of embeds it here. So these are all the different widgets that you can. There are some other social widgets as well that you can that come at the bottom, and these essentially are if you want to provide your LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, or you can even link your WhatsApp number here. So whenever someone clicks on it, WhatsApp will directly open up, right? Now, once you're done with setting up basic widgets here, the next thing that you would want to do is play around with colors and themes, right? So we support, you can choose any color depending on your brand and it'll sort of update here. And you also have the option to choose from multiple themes. And we also keep on launching new themes as well, right? This, for example, is a professional theme. Uh, this is board theme. This is the one that most people choose. This is a little more playful theme for people who are more in a creative field, right? So what I can also do is the moment I'm playing around with all these widgets and themes, I can click on preview and shows me how my Lunacal page would look like, right? The actual publish only happens when I click on publish button. So while I'm playing around with it, my actual scheduling page would continue to be the way it is. The last theme that we have is this particular theme, where again you can play around with colors, uh, click on preview to see how it looks, right? Every theme has different types of widgets, has a different feel. So you can sort of select basis what is it that you think fits your audience the best, right? I personally select bold theme and I typically choose to go with this color, even though this is not really a brand color, but I personally like this the most. In fact, in this theme, you can also change the images here, right? So if you see, like I have these different sort of add color to the overall scheduling page, right? Once I'm done making all the changes, I can click on publish and it sort of gets published. I can also click on this share button, copy this link, and then I can start to share it on either on my social media platforms or I can directly ping it to someone, right? Now, here what happens is once someone receives my link, they can click on this button and then they can provide these details. These are all also customizable that we're going to discuss. And when they hit confirm, it will get published. Okay. Uh, all right. So I think largely we are done with this particular page. Just give me a sec. Okay. So this is the page of a particular event that we're seeing here, right? So for example, if I have to give a link, an implementation link to someone, then I probably am going to share this particular page, right? But what also happens is you can create multiple events, right? And then what I can do is instead of sharing a particular events page, I can also share my overall page, which looks something like this, right? So I have my different events here and I can potentially share this page with someone. They can select a particular event and they can book time with me, right? So in case you have audience where you want the audience to select the type of event that they want to book with you, then this is the kind of page that you can share, right? You can also make a few events private. For example, I've done this as a private event, which means it doesn't really show up in the final here in my profile page, right? All right. So these are largely the changes that you would do on your scheduling page. We keep on releasing new themes. There are new backgrounds that we're releasing. We're coming up with new widgets. So you'll start to see more and more options come up here. Now we'll move on to the second part, which is the entire backend of the product where you do all the settings and configurations, right? So this is that page. Here, if you see, these are the different events that I've created, right? Now, a particular event, think of a particular event as a calendar which has its own settings, right? So it'll have its own availability. You can have different time setup. You can have different location, event details, right? So, for example, in my case, I can share an intro meeting. I can have a demo. I had an event called Career with Lunacal where if I wanted to take interviews, I would probably share this link with people, right? Uh, or I can create new events from here. So let's try to create a new event. Let's say I'm hosting a webinar. I'll do a webinar. Let's say it's a 30-minute webinar. I click on continue. And now I can start to make all the changes to this particular event, right? Once I'm done with all the changes, I would be able to preview it and then like share the link with people whom I want, right? So within this product, the first thing that you see within the event setup itself is you can add a title and description to this event. You can provide a duration, or you also have an option where instead of giving a fixed duration, you set up a list of durations, right? So, for example, I want people to either book a 20-minute meeting or a 30-minute meeting, right? So I can do this, save, and what will happen is that people who are coming to book time with me, they would have the option to select what duration they want to book, right? For now, let's assume that I'm fixed with 20 minutes. The next option is group bookings. Right now, this is typically used when you're hosting an event where multiple people can book at the same time. Right. So, for example, let's say uh, I'm doing a closed room webinar where I only want 5 people to attend. Right. So what I'll do is I'll make it a 5 people event, and so any slot can be booked by up to 5 people, right? So in a webinar context, obviously, I would not want to have so many slots open. So I would change this within the availability section. But now a particular slot can be booked by up to 5 people. When the first person books it, it will show 4 slots available here, right? So let's say you're hosting a wine tasting, right? So in these sort of scenarios where you have multiple people booking the same time, that's where you can use group bookings feature, right? The next is meeting location. Now, within meeting location, we provide multiple options. These are all the common ones where you either want to have it on Google Meet, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, FaceTime, right? Or you can also provide a physical location. So whenever the person books the meeting, they'll get to know of a physical location that provide a phone number. Or let's say you're using a so you can click on this link meeting and provide a link to that platform, right? So any static link that you put here can be used. So in fact, even if let's say you're using Google Meet and you have a specific link that you want to use every time, then you can just input that particular link, right? The next section is availability. And actually, before we move to availability, I'll probably want to show the email embed feature. So this is a really cool feature. The idea here is that sometimes you don't really want to share the um, entire calendar link with people. So what you can do is you can select a few time slots. Let's say I want to propose these time slots, copy from here, directly go to your email and directly paste them here, right? So hey, here are the time slots, right? So uh, it seems a little more personal because now you have specific time slots that you're offering someone. Also ensures that people don't really choose any other time because you might have these preferences, right? uh, Again, it's super simple to implement. Just go here, click on email embed. This thing would open up, select the slots that you want, copy them, and just paste it here. It's as simple as doing a control C control V, right? um, so this is the email embed feature. The next feature that we should talk about is availability. Now, availability is the time slots that you want to be available on the calendar, and you can set it up differently for every event, right? So right now we are within a particular event. So within dropdown, I can see the different availabilities that I've created. I can select any of these availabilities, and for this event, that availability would be applicable, right? So the utility is, let's say, I want to take interviews only in the morning, or I want to do, I don't know, sales demos throughout the day. So for different events, I would then set up different availabilities, right? The way to do it is you go to the settings section, and let me open this in a new tab. In the settings section within the availability, you can sort of create new availabilities. For example, I have created all these availabilities. And then whenever you go to any particular event, just from the drop down, you can select the availability that you want. Okay. The next feature is booking limits. Now, the idea behind booking limits is you want to ensure that your time is protected, right? So, let me actually go through each of these sections. So, the first one is buffer settings, where let's say you don't want to do back to back meetings, right? So, you can provide a 10-minute, 15-minute buffer, which means that let's say if a meeting is from 9 to 9:30, the next person cannot book an immediate a meeting directly from 9:30, right? So there has to be some buffer that I can provide, or I can set up an advance notice that I don't want to have. I need at least a 2-hour notice before someone books time with me, right? Uh, the next thing that I can do is I can put in an upper limit of on how many bookings I want to have, right? So for example, um, for a sales demo, I don't want to do more than 3 sales demo a day. So I can set up this limit. And what will happen is the moment 3 sales demos happen for any particular day, that day will stop showing up on the calendar, right? The next thing that the next feature available here is booking questions, right? So within booking questions, what you can do is these are the questions that people have to answer when they are booking time with you, right? So if I go to my calendar, I click on it, these are the questions that are booking questions, right? In fact, let me go to the implementation discussion event to help you understand this better. Yeah. So for example, if you see, I've put up a company name here, I've added some phone number field here, right? So those fields are showing up here, right? What I can also do is I can create different types of booking questions, right? So if you scroll down, you'll see all these different types of questions that you can create. For example, let's say I can create a question called "What's your company size?" Right? And then I can have multiple options here, less than 100, 100 to 500, right? And I can make it mandatory or optional and add it. Once it happens, I save it. Now, what will happen is whenever someone is trying to book a meeting with me, they'll get to see this question, what's your company size? And this drop down will come. Okay. And I can obviously, if I want to move this question up, I can do that as well. Right? So booking questions support a lot of different types, right? You can have email, phone number, you can have text, drop downs, a checkbox, right? Where you can either have a multi-select checkbox or a single select checkbox, multi-choice question, right? You can also have a consent checkbox. So if you are in a regulatory field where you want an additional consent to be taken from people, then you can put in another question here. You can make it mandatory. And only when people check it would they be able to book the meeting, right? Which means they have accepted to the terms and conditions. All right. The next thing that we're going to move on to are workflows. Now, workflows are essentially, uh, think of them as email workflows that you can create to engage with prospects throughout their booking journey, right? So let's say someone books a time with you and you want them to be reminded of the meeting 15 minutes before the meeting, then this can be a workflow that you can create, right? Or the moment a meeting ends, you want to send a thank you message, that can be another workflow that you create, right? So the way to do it is I click on this create a workflow. Let me refresh it. Okay, I already have a lot of workflow, so it probably won't allow me. Let me edit a particular workflow. So let's say here it's a reminder workflow, right? Now, here what I can set up is before an event starts, maybe 15 minutes before the event starts, I want to send an email to attendees saying them that, hey, here's a meeting reminder, right? And I can also edit this. Maybe I want to say, uh, here's a deck that you can look at, right? So any customizations that you want to do to the email copy can be done. You can attach it to multiple events, and whenever you save it, what will happen is 15 minutes before the event starts, the person would be reminded of the event, right? I can set another workflow which says maybe 24 hours before the event starts, you can remind the people, right? Or let's say a workflow can be when an event is booked, I want to send them an email saying some pre-meeting introduction, right? So uh, maybe you just booked a session, do go through this video, right? So thanks for booking the session. So anything that you want to send before the meeting, you can edit those, add those things, and whenever someone books a meeting, immediately they'll be sent this workflow, right? The next type of workflow is you can do something after the events ends. Now, this is also an interesting use case. The idea behind this is that even after the event is done, you want to engage with prospects, right? So maybe 15 minutes after the event happens, 15 minutes after the event happens, I can send an email to attendees saying maybe thank you for joining the event. And here is a any static link that you want to share, right? Maybe 3 days after the event ends, you can send another workflow to people, sending them some generic content. So a lot of these workflows that you otherwise would need an email marketing tool to create, if these are simple workflows and related to scheduling, you can build it within Lunacal itself. Okay, going back, the next section is the advanced section. Now, here you can play around with a few things. You can select the calendar where you want to add the booking. Uh, there are webhooks available as well. So this, for example, I've set up a Discord related webhook. So whenever someone books a meeting with me, I get a notification on Discord, right? Someone in my team has also set up this webhook for Slack. So there is a Slack channel where I think they get updates on new meetings booked with the support team, right? So using webhooks, you can trigger any workflow outside of Lunacal where if you want things to be updated. So it happens on all the three triggers, which is whenever a meeting is booked or a booking is created, whenever it's rescheduled, and whenever it's cancelled, right? Another thing that you can do, and this is something that we recently launched, is change the meta title description of the scheduling page, right? So this logo, for example, where you see Lunacal logo, you can change it to your logo. The title that is there can also be changed, right? And you can also have a different social preview image, which is the image that shows up when you're sharing scheduling page somewhere, right? Another thing that you can do is you can embed your Lunacal page within your website. So just copy the HTML code and embed it there. Now, next we'll look at the team section, but before that, I just happened to look at the inspirations tab, and I probably should show a few inspirations because this is again related to how you can create your scheduling pages, right? So let me open up a few of these and show you how it looks. So this is for Mr. Beast. Obviously, he didn't ask us to do it. We just took some content for him. So here, if you look at it, that person is talking about his company. They have all these photos here, and there's also an option to make this clickable, right? If you want them to go to some other page. There is a video here. Again, a few more videos. There is another Instagram post embedded here. You have this audio embedded here, right? I think this is Spotify or Apple Music. Yeah, this is Spotify, right? And it gets played here itself. So no one needs to navigate away from this page. And you can scroll down, look at the different things, and just play it, right? Another example is a design consultant where you see this CTA, right? So you can direct people to some other place. You can add documents. This is also relevant for salespeople. Let's say if you have sales decks or case studies, and you can attach them here. People can click on it and go through this content. And again, there is a social post embedded here, right? Let's go through one more example. So this is, let's say, a therapy coach. They've put up these images here. There are testimonials. There are a few case studies. A podcast by Huberman. Not sure if it's related to it, but it's just a sample page. And then obviously the FAQs. Now here a person can select which time slot they want to, which event they want to book, click on it, and then start booking the session. All right, now we'll move on to the final thing, which is the teams section. So with the idea behind teams is that you can either have multiple companies here, or you can have within your company multiple teams. So you can have something for sales team, something for marketing team, right? And for the sake of this example, what I've done is I've created a sample team of, assuming that, let's say I run a clinic, and then there are multiple doctors in that clinic, right? So let me show you how this will work. Now, the first thing that I've done is by clicking on create a new team, I invited multiple members to my team, right? And what happened was those people got an email when they accepted the invite, and they came to this team section and accepted the invite here. They are now part of my team, right? Which means I also share licenses with them. So the first thing that we can do within the team section is edit the team booking page, right? So this is the team booking page. Let me show you a preview of how it looks like. So here, let's say there's a clinic, they have multiple doctors, they have like details here, have a few testimonials, have videos, and they've also added a physical location by embedding Google Maps, right? So if if you have a physical location, it's always a good idea to embed a map on your scheduling page, because it's also drives that trust among people that yes, there is a physical location that this company has, right? um, and the people who are visiting this page can then select any one of these, and their scheduling page will open up, right? So if I select this particular doctor, then this doctor's scheduling page opens up, and then I can select her time, right? Now this kind of a setup is useful in a lot of cases. For example, if I'm, let's say, running a salon, right? So then I can list different people here, and then people who are looking to book time can select anyone and book time with them, right? In fact, there's another interesting use case that we have seen people, our own customers do it, uh, which is uh, these co-working spaces have started to use Lunacal to offer their different seats, right? So if I have, let's say, 3 conference rooms, 5 premium seats, so I'll list all of them here. People can click on it and book that particular slot. And since we also allow you to create paid meetings, which means that while booking a slot, you can make a payment. It also helps them collect money there itself when the person is booking, right? So we won't really cover it in detail, but how it works is that, let's say this were a paid event, right? Then when I click on a particular time, then instead of this confirm button, it'll show up a pay button. When a person clicks on that pay button, they'll be redirected to, if it's via Stripe, then they'll have all the credit card and all those options. And if it's via PayPal, then the PayPal interface will open up. And when the payment is confirmed, that's when the meeting will be booked, right? And you can connect your own Stripe and PayPal, so the money gets immediately transferred to your account, right? On the team booking page, what I can also do is I can hide a few people. So for example, if I'm the owner and I've created this page, but I don't want myself to be visible, then I've sort of hidden myself. or you can reorder people here, right? The second use case of Teams is you can create these round robin and collective events, right? Now, we'll start with round robin event. The use case of round robin event is that instead of a person selecting whom they want to book time, they directly select a slot and then the first person automatically gets assigned, right? When the second customer books time, the second person in the staff gets assigned, right? So instead of, if you have, let's say, four doctors, all four doctors are equal, you don't want the patient to select whom they want to book an appointment with, then in that second, the second and probably the more relevant use case here is that how a collective event works is that here, only when all of the team members are present, that those are the times that are shown and the meeting is booked with everyone, right? So for example, let's assume that I have to take interviews, and in every interview I have to be there, plus the HR head has to be there. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll create a collective event wherein both me and HR head would be part of the collective event, right? So yeah, largely that's how Lunacal works. To summarize, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us on hi@lunacal.live. Right. Uh, I see there are a lot of questions here. Unfortunately, we won't be able to answer them today. Most importantly, because my laptop is about to die. So do feel free to drop in a mail at hi@lunacal.live. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye.